beautiful thing about God is at that moment, he sends an angel over there and says, you got it. You got it. You understand now. So let me take a coal from the altar. Let me touch your lips and cleanse you of all that unrighteousness. Now let me turn you into something really beautiful.
Find out more about Francis Chan at klove.com. Keyword encouragement.
Oh, how often do I try to look like I've got my act together? Even though I hate to admit it, sometimes it's a lot easier to focus on how I look to others rather than how I look to God.
That's right, honey. So I think it's time to change. What do you think? How do you look to God? Well, who? Well, which God are you talking about? You talking about my boss? Or are you talking about the boss of bosses? How do you look to him? Well, he does a CAT scan, an X-ray. It's only from the inside. The spirit from within. That's what he looks at. As you're doing the job that you're doing, what kind of spirit do you have as you're doing it? Is it malicious? Or are you just bored and this is something fun to do and you get paid damn good for it? I appreciate some of the tactics. Some of the ways are just funny, right on point. Perfection. Like just going to Home Depot. Just getting out. Walking up. Something always will. It's the way something moves gives it away. And it'll speed up and then turn in front of you and then park real quick and then get out and get a push cart to push right behind you. Just perfect timing. It was impeccable. I actually gave him the thumbs up on that one. And then maybe 30 seconds after I was in the truck, after I left, he left too. So he must have found what he needed pretty quick with that push cart that he was pushing in there. Because I only went in there to get a roll of tape, Gorilla tape. I gotta hold things together. And then, because the ones that I don't know if you actually give the command, Steve, to these people, or it's just the AI controlling everything everywhere you go. Maybe some tactics are done through the surveillance live on certain people because it's more funny that way. It's only funny when you can see it also for what it is. But see, people they have that evil intent where they get a kick out of irritating people and they start laughing at them. God created all of us for his own good pleasure. So I found what I was looking for pretty fast, and as I went up to pay for my item, apparently there was a spill of some kind of water right there. And I appreciate the guy that just happened to be there with some paper towels right before I scanned my... Actually, as I was getting ready to scan the tape. We had an aisle and clean up, line number 2. Card only. So again, the timing of all the things that happen are, I'm kind of blown away at the timing of things. You guys got it down packed. You got professionals that have been doing it. Sometimes I forget that these are professionals doing this. They've been doing it time after time after. They are down to the T when it comes to impeccable timing. We live in like a circus world. People don't just do things because that's them and that's what they do. When you realize the hidden world, things are done for different reasons. Sometimes none of them will make sense. But it's a way of saying hello to you, if you can see it. And the ones that deliver the pranks. Yeah, of course it's gonna be, you know, if you're in surveillance behind the scenes and you can see stuff that us regular people can't. Yeah, you're gonna tend to think things are funnier, a little bit funnier, because they can't see it and you do. You'll tend to feel a little bit more powerful because the authority you have to surveil like others can't. So there's a little bit of a power ego boost. I can only imagine. And then there's people that they even know that you can see what they're doing and their bosses and who they are and all that stuff, but they don't care because they were told the ending is going to happen a certain way and they are being paid right now through the boss that you know that is their boss, and they don't believe it's going to go any other way. And that the broken promises doesn't refer to what they were promised. Therefore, if you were promised nothing, you're going to be good. You're on the good side. If you were promised something, well, people are going to get an inheritance, a reward for all this. This does have an ending to it. There is an ending to this, but it comes like a thief in the night. If you're not aware of the spiritual hidden world, you are not going to know anything about what really is happening. So, dear journal, here are the things that I found to be true happen in my life, where I can prove it just by walking around in my own vessel through my own eyes. There is no need to prove anything to anybody because the two eyeballs that are looking through you can see it all. There's so many people in this world. And what are they all doing? Where are they all going? How many times do they take a crap in a day? And how much toilet paper do they use up? And where's that go? And then times that by 7 billion. Where's everybody's poop go? What about the toilet paper? What about the water? What about the filtration system? Can you imagine that all the water in the world has always been recycled somehow? And nothing's new? It's frightening to think. But thank God for plumbers and the Romans and how they started the underground water system and all that down here for us. Ants living down here. I'm talking out into the thin air, to the principality of the air. The principality of the air hears me right now before I even upload the video to YouTube. That's how he got to know me so well. And then to know that's true, well, I can just talk directly to you. I can talk directly to you. And one way or another on YouTube, somehow or another, I'll get a response. I'll get some kind of communicated confirmation that keeps me going, because it is tough doing this by myself out here at times. That's why I appreciate when Steve makes a video about me, because he even just reminds me, now remember, Robin, if you get down and out, just remember, I'm the leading head United States gang stalker in America, and I have been on your ass from the gate. And the whole deal was, whoever remember, Robin, the whole deal between everything behind the scenes was the agreement. Whoever I attack the most, that's the person. That's the guy that, man, I feel sorry for him in the beginning. But boy, in the end, remember, Robin, Henry Tees, you're the devil incarnate, which means you've kicked our asses as the adversary. Because we were playing Jesus and all that stuff. We got a couple of them out there. And then it reminds me of, yeah, that's true. That's true. Why would someone that is the head commander publicly talk trash about me? Publicly from the beginning. And then others did it in their way. I think today's the 2nd year anniversary since Jonathan Kleck said, by the way, Robin, nerd. Yeah, I love you. You're in deep, deep trouble, Robin Hood, and all you shills. Is that good, Steve? Did I do good? Yes, Steve Austin. You read your script very well. Robin didn't even know you were reading at the time. Now he knows everybody reads. They can't always look in the camera because you just can't. But now some are very, very, very good that they can blur their vision and just read one lettered scroll directly above that, behind that camera, and be able to focus in on the camera. That's perfection there. And then from that point on, it was Kleck confirmed to me he's paying attention very clearly, because I was only on him for about 7 months until that video came up. And I wound up being a guest on DerekBros show. I thought at the time that's the most important channel to just make an appearance and say hello to. And that's exactly what I wanted to happen, and that's pretty much exactly what took place. Even being delayed was, so what? I was hanging out. I was hanging out for the people that needed to see that, to see it. And for the others that say, yeah, whatever, dude, we're all mocking you. That's why he put you on there. You're going to get it in the end. I've been tested and tried through the fire and thrown into a den of lions with a bunch of devouring lions that have the ability to tear you apart. But when you shut the lion's mouths, what do? You shut their mouth, what, literally? Because they're lying? You can look at it like that. Or you can look at it as even the lions of the field will not hurt you. Even if you're thrown into a lion's den. Even if you're thrown into one and there's a bunch of holographic lions. Even if you're thrown into it on the metaverse and you're singing it around you that way. Or if you're literally thrown in one and they just made sure they fed them very well beforehand so they don't eat you. One way or another, being tested by the military without being in the military, without having an actual public ranking and recognition for passing all those tests, because it's all a mental, spiritual battle and it's warfare. Feels like World War III to me. I remember back in World War I when it began on my birthday. I wasn't born yet, but I was, well, that was 1914 and 76. So 62 years later, right? 62? 14? 76? Yeah. 62 years later, I wound up being born on this earth. But 62 years prior, World War I began on my birthday. And then for 5 years, it took for it to end on my birthday again. 57 years later, it ended. And I've been at this battle of the YouTube confusion land of confusion, Babylon. I've been in there for almost 5 years, April 2nd, 2017. It's 2022. So I decided to hop into this platform called YouTube, Dear Journal. And I think I started at, what was that, 40? Getting ready to turn 41, I think. Wait, let me do the math. Yeah, makes sense. As of today, 5 years ago, I was 40 years old. Just getting ready to start YouTube. Out of nowhere. Because I felt like it. Right on the same day that supposedly Jesus got crucified. Or the next day or something. But I didn't even do that for that reason. I did it just because all of a sudden I felt like doing it. The Spirit led me into the wilderness. And I was tested for 40 days and 40 nights, just like everybody else. When you step into this wilderness, you're going to be tested for a complete amount of time. Tested, the number 40, days and nights, seems more like a complete testing period. Point blank. I discovered a lot of hidden things. A lot of secrets. And I tell the secrets because I'm allowed to. You can only tell the secrets if you're not part of the organization. The organization has people that they're allowed to tell you certain things, but only in their language. And then it's up to the Father to connect that language. So if the Father does exist, then that Spirit will work through somebody to be able to connect the dots. And if you can connect the dots, then the spiritual is fulfilling the literal, and they are literally playing out their 12 apostles and their Jesus Christ in the flesh. They are. But wouldn't it make sense that the woman with the 12 stars and the sun and the moon would be that person that is in that seat as the Christ that have the 12? And then what about the woman that sits on top of an 11-pointed hindectagram? Isn't that the Statue of Liberty holding up the torch? So if she's standing on 11 stars and the woman in heaven, that great sign, is standing on top of 12 stars, I mean, has 12 stars above her head. The moon is under her feet. And at times, people have said that represents Lucifer, the lighter, the lesser light to rule the night. And then Christ, the sun, the brighter light to rule the day. So if she's clothed with Christ, the Spirit, and Lucifer is under her feet, and the 12 apostles are above her head, and she's getting ready to give birth, well, she's clothed with the Son of God, the Son of God, the Spirit of God. And then the birthing is getting ready to birth what? The man-child? That's why the reptilian parthenogenesis would make sense as the woman, the one that has the 12 stars. She's pregnant, getting ready to give birth to the Son of God, but she is a he, and did the transformation in order to have a baby, and then to have the baby born as an exact twin. So it's like a twin system, but it's really the father, but gave birth which makes the father a mother. Therefore, that's the mother, father, creator. And then that's how they have the Son of God, and that's the one way that this script is being played out. Is there somebody that is that person, and you had a baby, and he's roaming around the streets right now, doing things like Ezekiel, and showing stuff and weird anomalies that happen, that he says the Lord told me this and that, but he's really talking about his Father in heaven that told him to do this and that, and then he's like the Son of God, and that's the one manifestation of this thing being played out. And then there's also an actual birth of just a spirit from God that wasn't part of any of the script from the gate, because that happens too. But ain't it amazing how it all happens? Like, it's all happening at the same time now. It's finally being fulfilled, and it's going to come like a thief in the night. And who's really going to know besides the ones that have been in on it? The ones that have been promised things that won't happen. And then to those that thought you got no hope because this world is just sickening, it's just not getting better ever. And then all of a sudden heaven comes down to earth. Because it's the system itself. Let my people go? Well, I thought about that. I would assume he was talking about the inner circle. The people of the world, the ones that do that thing for the money, that have that app that controls them in every which way they go, I think they're going to continue to be slaves, because if you don't repent and turn from any evil deeds that you're doing, you get destroyed when that transformation takes place, because it's going to destroy your soul for believing something that you thought would be and never came about. Because I'm telling you, it's about faith, and who can believe what one person's saying with no proof? That's what Judas thought. The one that was the lower level. As at that time, he's waiting for Christ to take over I believe the Roman Empire, and he didn't see it wasn't taking place. Even though Christ knew that he had already taken over the spirit from inside of the building. Too many people are looking for actual physical changes of people and power. No, God works through the spirit in that same person that's already in power and changes it from the inside out. That's why there's so much division. Satan's house was divided. I was just thinking along the same as the little ones, exposing what this is. I just didn't know other people at the time were doing the same thing that I was doing, that are from the actual heavens. But when you know there's other people on your side and they were already going to be doing the same thing, then you also know that everything is still a script and it was going to be played out regardless. It's just what I've realized on YouTube is the fact that it's been played out spiritually as well. The spiritual manifestation of it is taking place along with the literal. But how can you believe any of that when there's no evidence? But how can you not be worried if somebody does know it from the outside? Well, because you know there's guarantees, there's hidden bank accounts, there's secretive meetings. You can even go in the stores and you may not even know that person over there, but I feel like the app that you have is that very thing. It's like a red and blue polka dot app. The target is red. Your fellow gang stalker is blue. And you can just go up and do things if you're able to do things on your own, like to make up your own little tactics. And then the app that I need is the same exact thing, to see the same exact thing. But I'm not on radar anymore. There is no red or blue. There's just it's whited out, so you're not going to be able to see it. It's just clear. And then I get to go up to those that are tormenting the ones in the red, and it even tells me what they're going to do. And then I can go up to the red and warn them ahead of time and say, watch what this person's going to do. They're going to do this, X, Y, and Z. And then they do exactly what you just said, and that person looks like, how the hell did you know that? And you'll say, the Lord told me. Because he did. He worked through the hearts of the people to give you that app. So therefore the Lord told you, because his servant is Satan. It's just amazing how the whole thing works, and I get to be a part of it. I know damn well it's all true, and there will come a time of reconciliation and people just learning what the truth really is. I just want to help people believe and have faith in God, because right now it doesn't look that way. But when things do take place and are finally rewarded, it's finally not hidden anymore. The two witnesses finally stop withholding the rain publicly. They just stop. When the rewards come and the inheritance happens, and rest and live in life the way that we're supposed to, that's heaven. That's going to be the greatest feeling for me. Some of you guys already live that right now. Like Steve. Just because he shows videos of him being in Linwood, Michigan, doesn't mean there's an exact replica land on his island that looks just like it. And then he goes over to the other part of the island that's extravagant. Yep, just because you put your feet on the ground doesn't mean you're actually where you say you are. So I don't know, I might be driving up there and I'll just head up there whenever I feel like it and just make an appearance and meet up with Steve. He'll have to go and zoom from his other planet and hurry up and go to that acting spot. But if you're receiving your inheritance soon, Steve, as King David, then, I mean, I'll play the role of being the Christ spirit, because that is the spirit that I have, and that's why I've been talked at as the Antichrist himself, as the devil himself, as Satan himself. Because I'm coming after the Christ, supposed Christ in the system, with the actual Christ spirit. So if you want to be King David, that's fine, whatever. It's good. I trust you. I trust that when you're in charge, I'm going to be, I mean, when you're not, yeah. When you get your crowning, I'm good to go. You know why? Because I love my enemies. And I slew them as well. I felt sympathy, felt bad, felt compassion. I was loyal. And I don't know, I mean, if he's having a problem with the button, that sometimes it just happens. But that's all child's play. Let me ask you this, SJD. What other person on the planet passed all of your tests that you've come after them with all the fear of the being the head United States Luciferian gang stalker in America? Insane Luciferian liars. Who else did it that wasn't from the inside? And can anybody from the inside actually deal with that? Here's a question. Any of you guys that gang stalk me, do you get gang stalked too? Or are you off limits? And you only are able to do the tactics that people are doing as gang stalkers, but they don't get done to you. I think you guys don't get harassed the way that I do. So my job on Earth was to show you how to deal with it. How to deal with your own. It's like thrusting your own hand through the nail print. Like, I won't believe it until I do it myself. Who would have thought I get to be a part of that? This is the freaking Bible end time prophecy being played out. And I'm witnessing all of it. I get to be gang stalked every day, which reminds me that I am on the right damn track. It is not forever. It's not permanent. It may feel that way, but my Father already told me that the end is near. I already know what Scripture says about enduring to the end. This is all about endurance. Passing the test that the government, the military, puts you through a psychological beatdown. And then when you can give it back to them, well, then they do it to you in a physical sense, which is the surveilling harassment campaign of the Gang Stalking Corporation. And then when you defeat that, when you defeat and win and pass all those tests, what do they say to you? If you can't beat them, you might as well join them. Yeah, but it's only one person. I know. One person. That's all it takes. That's all there is. It just takes one person to do it. And then the rest of the world gets to experience what the one person does for the entire planet. And even those people that get to experience life better probably were part of the ones that were attacking you. SJD. Yes, Father. I need you to continually descend upon Rab and Henry T's. Call him a liar. Do what you do best. I need you to keep descending upon him. That way your comrades will know that's the guy that, you know, I told you, and whoever I'm going to attack the most is that guy that when I get my crowning, he's getting his portion for damn sure. Because that means he endured the spiritual war. I was never touched. This is a spiritual battle. But the reality is, nothing even exists. This is all make-believe imaginary. I'm talking out loud the way I want my future to be, and it's going to take place. And when that happens, I get to help a lot of people have faith in God, because I had zero